Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the quick look on the Kramer 84. So gang, I need to start this quick look with a little story. So apologies to anyone that just wants to hear the guitar. So I'm sure a lot of us, had a guitar playing friend or two that we looked up to, when we were young and we were just, starting to learn the instrument. And so for me, that friend, one of those friends was Lynn. And Lynn was a year older than me. He was, a year ahead of me in high school, but he was, just a really, really great guitar player, good friend. It was always very supportive, of my playing, and, was just the kind of guy, the kind of guitar player that I looked up to and almost kind of idolized because, he was, while he was a friend of mine and, we did a lot of things together. He was in a band before I was and just, was such a good guitar player. And I just really, really looked up to Lynn, as kind of like a guitar playing role model. And I remember Lynn always had, really cool equipment. He actually sold me my first Les Paul. He sold me my first real amp. It was an amp head. He sold me my first 412 cabinet, things like that. So anyway, there came a time when this local music shop, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what shop it was, but, it was relatively local to us. They were having like a one-time sale. I think it was like on a Friday night. And at this sale, you could buy a Kramer guitar, at normal price, and you could get a second Kramer guitar of equal value for a penny. Now, can you imagine these days, like if Sweetwater or something, you could go to and buy, a guitar and get a second guitar for a penny? It's just unheard of now, these days. But back then, this shop was doing this, and this had to be like, I don't know, 85 or 86 probably, because Lynn was old enough to drive. So anyway, make a long story short, Lynn went down and ended up getting a Kramer Pacer and a Kramer Beretta. They were both white. And I remember right away, Lynn swapped the necks. He put, the Pacer neck on the Beretta body and vice versa. And I don't remember exactly why he did that. I would imagine it was just because of the difference, in the headstock, the way they looked at, he wanted, the other neck on the other guitar or something like that. But I remember for like, I don't know, it had to be, 8 to 10 months or so, maybe even almost a year. I really wanted that Beretta. I just hounded Lynn, sell me this, because, sell me that Beretta. So after, probably almost a year of hounding him to sell me that, he finally relented and sold me that Kramer Beretta. So, I played that Kramer Beretta for a while. It was my, my main number one guitar. And it remained my number one guitar until I actually won one of the first year Ibanez gems, the 1987 gem. I won a Vi autographed Desert Sun Yellow gem out of Guitar Player magazines. It was back then when you had to send in a postcard. There was no online, or anything like that. Well, I sent 14 postcards in, and I actually won that guitar. So this Kramer isn't, exactly like that Kramer, Beretta I had back in the day, but it's close enough that I'm having a blast with it. So guys, lately I've been on quite a Kramer kick. Picked up a couple of the cheap, Kramer Beretta specials that are actually fantastic guitars. Did some quick looks on those if you're interested. But this is the Kramer 84 model in Alpine White. Loosely based, I guess, on a Kramer Beretta, but it doesn't, have the slanted humbucker. But other than that, pretty similar. It's got the cool banana headstock with the old Kramer logo there. If you're of the era that I am and like, the kind of music that I like, I'm a big, 80s rock hair metal, guy. I play in a band that, does, that genre of music. And, this guitar is just right up my alley. And if you're, of that ilk as well, this guitar will probably be right up your alley too. So the fit and finish on this guitar is really, really good. The finish is superb. Really, basically, the only flaw really on the guitar is down in the channel here for the truss rod. It's just a little rough, probably because they can't really get in there and, you know, polish it up like they do the rest of the body, I'm assuming. You know, pretty minor, really. And then the stock tuners are probably not the greatest, but, you know, with a locking nut, you basically just got to string the guitar with them, you know, bring up the pitch, and then, you know, you're going to lock it down anyway. They're not a huge thing. I did replace mine with some hip shot locking tuners, just, you know, because I like locking tuners on all my guitars. But you probably get away with, you know, keeping the stock tuners, you know, if you really wanted to. But really, these hip shot tuners aren't that expensive, and they're really, really high quality. So I tend to, you know, kind of throw those on every guitar that I get that, you know, that doesn't already have locking tuners on it. You know, if I don't go with something like the, you know, Graph Tech ratio tuners, which I do tend to use on my, you know, higher end guitars. But, you know, maple neck, like the two cheaper Kramers that I've gotten, this one, superb neck as well. Really, really impressed, excuse me, with the fretwork on these, you know, new 2020, I guess, and now, you know, 21 Kramers. This one's, you know, no different. Really, really nice frets. Like I said, kind of shocked at how good the quality is. There's no fret sprout. They're leveled, you know, really nice. This one, you know, I did a little light fret polishing on them, you know, right when I got it, like I would, you know, do on any guitar. But really, yeah, you know, great neck on it. The body's alder, and like I said, the Alpine white finish. It's got a Seymour Duncan JB humbucker in it. It's got a push-pull volume pot, and a lot of people think that's a coil split. It's actually a series parallel switch on that. Now, I did replace mine with a Mojo Tone vintage taper, you know, push-pull pot. The stock volume pot is not the greatest volume pot, but if you're going to keep that in there, what I would recommend is go in there and clip off the little treble bleed cap that's in there, because with that cap on there, it's like really the volume pot just doesn't really work. It's just the same volume, and then it just all of a sudden goes completely off. So once you clip that, the volume pot does work, you know, a little better as a volume pot. The, you know, volume will gradually, you know, go down as you turn the pot down. But like I said, I usually, you know, if I get a guitar that's got a cheap pot in it, I'll go ahead and replace that. The vintage taper push-pull pot from Mojo Tone, I want to say was like $7 or $8. It's just a couple bucks more than their, you know, regular non-push-pull pot. So I think that's a worthwhile, you know, upgrade for you. And then the Floyd Rose is the 1000 series, so, you know, it's got the decent Floyd Rose on it. And it is, it's not recessed, but there is a slight, you know, you can go up with it a little bit, which, you know, is no problem. Once you get it set up, it stays in tune like a dream. So guys, these are actually made in Indonesia, but don't let that scare you off. Honestly, I would put this up against, you know, my made in Mexico EVH there, or, you know, any of my made in Mexico Charvels. This is easily the same level of quality as, you know, as those made in Mexico guitars are. Okay, we'll do some tone samples for you. We'll do the same riff that we always do. And we'll start off on the ADA 45 clean amp profile from Big Hairy Profiles. Do the series parallel switch. Okay, this is the AC20 Deluxe profile. Series parallel. And this is the ADAMP Wags profile from Big Hairy Guitars. And the series parallel switch. So guys, if you're looking for a shred guitar, or like a blast from the 80s bass guitar, I think these new Kramers warrant a close look. Like I said, the quality on them is excellent. The large parts, the bridge, the pickup, are really high quality. Like I said, the tuners aren't the greatest, but with the locking nut, they're probably not quite as crucial. But it's easy to throw on a set of hip shot locking tuners like I did, if you want to go that route. The volume pot, if you just basically want it all the way up and then off, the stock pot's probably fine. But like I said, I would at least clip off that treble bleed cap, because that'll help you out a little bit. But honestly, guys, if you know how to solder, just throw a higher quality pot in there. It's super simple. But yeah, I'm having a blast with these guitars, playing the heck out of this one for sure. So guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.